Hello, good morning. I know it's Tuesday and I know it's April, but I have not got the foggiest idea what the date is. But I do know that Friday is the 1st of May. And the 1st of May for us is not going to see Queen of the May. We can't release Queen of the May until our frame is open and they are able to restock their mouldings, and apparently mouldings come from Italy, and of course we all know that Italy's been hit very, very badly with the virus, so there's a lot of catch up in the production line before I can get Queen of the May framed, but I promise you she is well worth waiting for. The two releases that we have coming Friday are very beautiful. I know that you're going to love them. I am waiting on supplies. When I got back from Nashville, we had been so busy that I'd literally run very low on boxes, envelopes, brown tape and cellophane bags, and it has been a nightmare trying to get a large quantity of cellophane bags whilst we're in lockdown. It appears that cellophane bags are produced in this country, but they need chemicals for to make them, and these chemicals come from China. It's the one thing this virus has made us realise is how dependent we are on other countries for supplies of so many different products, and maybe it's something that our country needs to think about. We need to be a little bit more self-sufficient. But anyway, I should have some cellophane bags coming today, fingers crossed, and as soon as they arrive I'm going to be very, very busy packing booklets and bookmarks into those bags. It's monotonous work, but I always think about when I'm putting the booklets and bookmarks into those cellophane bags and sealing them, that when those bags are unsealed, that hopefully you will have a lovely surprise when you pull the booklets out, you have them in your hands, you feel them, and then you open them up and you read their stories and you sort of dive in to the graphs and the beauty of the samplers. So though it's monotonous, hard work, it's very rewarding to me when I think of the pleasure that you're going to get out of those booklets. Last night on Facebook and Instagram I showed a photograph of a new sampler that I've started, and this is the sampler. There's a little bit more. I couldn't go to bed without stitching this little flower and urn above the rose. It's so pretty. I love this rose, and I chose to use raspberry shades rather than red shades, and the reason I had a choice is that this isn't a reproduction. This is something that I'm putting together. The sampler is inspired from a few different samplers I have, but this is a sampler that's been stitched because it's a gift for my husband, and it's going to contain a little verse that I often say to my husband. It'll probably be a little gem so that you can stitch it as well, but we have to wait and see how it develops. There she is. So I can't give you a name because the sampler hasn't got a little girl's name, and it's not going to be called Nicola's sampler. Anyway, I'm looking forward to carrying on working on this evening. Now, what have I got on the easel today? Well, it probably looks a little bit dark back here in this light, but this sampler is actually very colourful when you look at it. Now the reflection is bad today, so I'm going to try and hold this in the best way so that the reflection stays off. So the bottom of the sampler has this really impressive red house, and you can see that it was stitched by Margaret Anderson, Bargain Hill, Closeburn in 1830. Now, Bargain Hill is in Dumfries and Galloway in Scotland. Then we have a row of family initials, which is so typical of Scottish samplers. Then we have James and Marion Anderson, Closeburn, 1830. And then we have a really pretty little band. We've got 2 birds and a bee scap. Above one bird it says music charms, and above the other bird melody inspires. And above the bee scap we have industry. And we have 2 really lovely tulips in between. And then we have a run of names, which are probably Margaret's brothers and sisters. And then we have this glorious band, archaic band, which again is so Scottish. Now, the reason I wanted to show you this sampler today is that I am aware that there are countries and states in America who are on the verge of coming out of lockdown. And when we come out of lockdown, it means that we can go to the hairdressers. Now, if you're thinking that you would like to stitch this sampler when she is reproduced, and this sampler will be reproduced, you might like to have your hairdresser take a lock of your hair when you have your hair cut, and maybe locks of hair from your husband and your children. Margaret incorporated 4 locks of hair in her sampler. Now, she didn't stitch with the hair, she couched locks of hair down. Now, on the top you will see that this lock of hair is short grey hair, so I'm presuming that came from a gentleman. And then you have another lock of hair here, and then a bit further down you have a lock of hair that has it's very long actually, and it's been twisted and couched. And then you have another lock of hair at the bottom. So as our hair is all grown, mine is terrible, it's driving me mad. This is probably the ideal time to have a lock of your hair taken if you want to incorporate it into a sampler. And doing that makes a sampler an heirloom sampler for your family. So it's something for you to think about. This is a very pretty sampler, although the fabric has become very dark. The threads actually have kept their colour very well. I love this sort of peachy colour against the pinks and again the raspberries. Very pretty, and there's quite a few interesting stitches in this sampler which I'm looking forward to exploring when I come to sit down and reproduce her. This video was only intended to be a short one. I'll be back for Friday with those 2 releases. I'm so excited to share them with you, but more about those on Friday. Anyway, time for me to go, so stay safe, stay well, and until the next time, bye-bye.